Pastor Leslie here, and all of the other pastors are joining me on a Zoom call, but I am in charge. Jason wanted to make sure that you all knew that. I can mute them at any point. We're following up from the video that I sent out last Friday that talked about taking inventory of our lives in order to rewrite normal. And that's a series we're doing. And so I talked about the fourth part of that, about finished goods and what finished goods characteristics, what finished products we want to have in our lives. And in turn, that will choose how we take the path to get there. And so I thought I would bring forward those three questions that we asked, or that I asked in the video, to the pastors this morning. And in a sense, that will help you see how we're processing and hopefully encourage you in your own process. So we're going to start with Pastor Matthew today. And the question that I posed that I'm going to have you answer is, what are two characteristics that you want to be known by as you think of finished products in your life?
So finished products, for me, I think the two that I want to be known for, that I work hard at, is one, I want to be known as a friend. And a friend both in actions and just in conversation. I want to be someone who people can turn to and have, fun, light conversations, but I also want to be somebody that is a resource for people, that they can come when things are difficult. And I think there's a well-rounded view in friendship. And the other thing that I really want to be known for is just my level of commitment. I have worked hard at that. I like to believe that I'm the kind of person who, when I see a problem, I'm willing to jump in and help, but to commit to whatever it is and commit fully. So, whether it's, hey, we need this on a Sunday, or I see a friend who needs help moving, or whatever it is, but that I'm the kind of person that when I say yes, that my yes is yes, and that I can live up to that, and people can know that. And so they know that I'm someone that they can turn to and depend on. And the commitment is one that I have grown in. It has not always been, it's not a natural thing that I bring to the table. Because to be honest, I can be a selfish person and think of myself a lot. And focus on that, and then everything else kind of slides off. And so God's really worked on me in growing in that I was raised to where, my word is my bond. And so God's challenged me in that, and I've grown in that to where not only is it one that I know that I bring that to the table, that my commitment is worthwhile and it's true, but that it's something that brings joy out in me. Like I love being a team player and jumping in where I see a need and doing my best, trying to live out that excellence is what I strive for in all that I do, but including in my commitment and in my friendships. So being a friend and being committed to everything I say yes to do, and doing those both with excellence. Those are things that I want to be known for.
It's great. Thanks. I like that you showed how those are things that you have practiced and are in different process with. Some of them you might already be known by, and other you might still be growing in. So that's great. Thank you. Jason, what are two things that you have enjoyed about this season we've been in that you really want to not revert back to the old way of doing things, but instead reset moving forward?
Yeah, great question. So one of the things that I've absolutely appreciated is just time with the family. And we try to carve out time on a regular basis, but having so much extra time has been great. And some of the things in that, Kelly and I have been just doing a good job with our time in the morning together, just in front of the fire, going through God's word, which has been awesome. But a big one that we haven't been real good at doing in the past is making that an intentional part of our day with our kids. So really during breakfast, having meals together has been amazing. But during breakfast, we've been going through those devotionals that the church gave some of the kids. And that has been so much fun to go through that with our kids and ask them questions and have them pray with us. That's something I don't want to revert away from. I want to keep that going strong. And just the family time. Each evening after school's done and work's done, we've been going out for runs and bikes and trying to get out together and just playing together, which hopefully, I mean, as things change back, we won't have quite as much time, but to keep some of that going. So that's a big one, keeping that family time, keeping it intentional and not letting that slip away. And then the second one, one of the things I've missed most, probably the biggest thing I've missed during quarantine, is being able to do my job the normal way. I mean, I miss preaching probably more than anything, and the prep time for that, and then the engagement with the church and preaching. So I really missed that, but I've also enjoyed doing these silly videos. I really kind of enjoy my Monday devotion that I send out or thought. And I think that's something that I'd love to kind of keep going, just tidbits from life that hopefully I can connect with Christ and with how we can learn and grow. And hopefully that's something that's encouraging others as well. But that's been a lot of fun. I'd like to keep that going as well.
That's great. I hope you continue to include your llamas in your silly videos. Those have been a big hit.
I don't want to burn them out, but that was my most popular one.
At the risk of being awkward, I'm going to ask myself the third question. So Leslie, what are 2 things you want to grow in your certainty of? Moving forward from this season, I've thought a lot about one of the places that I have felt for a long time has been something I want to continue to grow in my certainty of, and it's just been even more evident in this season, is just my certainty of the goodness of God, and that I would not have to, when a situation comes up or something happens, that I wouldn't have to right away, go to that place of questioning, like, is God in this or is he good? But that my first response would be, God is good, that it would never, nothing around me and my circumstances would ever make me question his character. But I would be so certain of his character that I would always start with that as, like, I've said it, like my dance floor and not my ceiling. And so that's one thing I really want to grow in my certainty of and continue to walk in. And I think the reason that question is so important when we think of finished products is that things we are completely certain of drive us and propel us forward. And so that's one I really want to be certain of. And then I just think another, and this is simple, and I think we'll continue to look at it through inventory, but just little pieces of my identity in him and how he's made me. And to not feel like I have to strive for those or strive for belief in those, but really to just be fully settled within me of, this is a characteristic he's given me, or this is a specific way that he's made me, and just to be able to live in that fully. So those are 2 things I want to continue to grow in my certainty of in this season. And then I'd love to end the video today by just asking you, Charlie, what are, as you've processed through these questions and other things, thinking about finished products, what are some things that you might see as hindrances to all of us as we process, and in a sense, what about God's character and his word can propel us to push through those hindrances?
Yeah. It's interesting. The second you posed this teaching, I found myself kind of honestly just enveloped in the idea of Paul in Philippians chapter 3, starting in verse 10. Something that he wanted to be characterized by was a man who wanted to know Christ and the power of his resurrection, and to share in the fellowship of his sufferings, being like him in his death, that somehow he could attain to the resurrection of the dead. If there was one thing that Paul was characterized by, was a very passionate pursuit of Christ, and nothing hindered that. And what I found solace is, because I know for me sometimes I think history repeats itself, and many things that I've gone after in life, I've failed at, and I've failed at miserably. I've failed at being a great friend. I've failed at being a good pastor. I've failed at being a great husband. I've failed at a lot of things. And when we reflect on kind of how we go after final goods, sometimes I think the fear of failure the fear of what if I don't measure up? What if I don't attain the goals that I have? And I think sometimes that creates a paralysis that restricts our ability to like tenaciously go after things. And I love Paul's response. And by all means, I'm paraphrasing what he said in Philippians 3. But when he said, I press on towards the goal in which God through Jesus Christ took hold of me. Forgetting what is behind, I press on towards what is ahead. And I think sometimes the forgetting aspect, not forgetting in the sense that we don't learn from our mistakes, but the forgetting in the sense that I trust that a good Father, as you made reference to earlier, that He's already gone before me and made level my path. And I want to forget what is behind. I want to forget the past failure. I want to forget the past fear, and I want to lay hold of the prize in which God through Jesus Christ took hold of me. And so I think for me, when I look at this, I get excited about the idea of going, hey, I want to revisit past failure and go, I'm not the same. I'm not the same guy. God has grown in me, and He's faithful to complete the good work that He started. And I trust a good Father that wants to walk this journey with me. And so I love the question, Leslie, and I think the invitation simply is, how do we, like Paul, go? Forgetting what is behind, I press on toward what is ahead to lay hold of the prize in which God through Jesus Christ took hold of me. And I think there's solace in that for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Yep, we are in a season where we all are invited to push forward and to press on towards what God has for us in a new normal. And that can be a fun season. So I love the idea of forgetting, using it to move us forward, but also forgetting that hindrance of just being kind of bound by our past failures. So church, we hope that this has been an encouraging look at how we're processing, and in turn that it encourages you to continue to process those finished goods, finished products that you want in your life. We missed you so bad, and we hope that seeing our faces, we wish we could see all of your faces in person. We know that will come soon, but we just encourage you during this season to take some time to process, to take inventory of your life, and in turn to rewrite normal moving forward. God bless you. Have a great day.